Good afternoon. This meeting of the Monroe County Election Board is called to order. I'll ask Kylie to take the roll, please.
Nicole Brown.
Present.
David Henry.
Present.
Judith Bankart.
Present.
Okay. Quorum having been established, we'll move on to item 2, the approval of minutes. Are there any adjustments to the minutes as presented from last month?
No, sir. I've had an opportunity to review, again, make grammatical changes, but nothing substantive. And I am happy to make a motion to accept the minutes for last month's election board meeting.
And I second that motion.
Okay. With a motion and a second, we will go ahead and take the roll on the approval of minutes. Kylie, if you could, take the roll, please.
Nicole Brown.
Yes.
David Henry.
Yes.
Judith Bankart.
Yes.
And thank you. Thank you. All right, moving on to clerk's update. Clerk Brown, how's elections going? What's your update?
They're going. First, let me give a shout out to my election supervisor who is not feeling well enough to be here with us today. But I want to tell you that even in the midst of him not feeling well, he is making sure that I have the most up-to-date information as far as the voters. Thank you, Ryan. Get to feeling better because we will need you on Tuesday. See you on Tuesday. So the first thing that I want to talk about is incomplete voter registrations. We've been made aware that there are approximately 37 incomplete voter registrations that we received from people who wanted to vote in this election, but because they are incomplete, we cannot process them. Past practice has been to collectively agree as a board to reject those incomplete voter registrations because there's nothing that we can do to help that voter be able to vote. They would learn if they tried to show up to vote that they weren't an active voter. They would have a chance to update or provide complete information at that time, and then we would look forward to seeing them in the 2024 presidential primary. Would you like a motion?
So I think on this, just procedurally, so we would be voting today to go ahead and reject the incomplete voter registrations as shared, right?
Yes, a collective to batch them together.
Okay. Ms. Bankart, do you have questions about the incomplete voter registrations that were presented?
No.
What is the total number of those?
I believe it's 37.
Yeah.
So we had 37 that were incomplete. Okay. Yeah, it's an unfortunate step we have to take, but it is a step we take to keep things tidy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would entertain motions at this time to go ahead and move forward with rejecting the
I will make a motion to reject the 37 incomplete voter registration applications.
I second.
Okay. A motion and second on the procedure to reject the incomplete voter registrations having been made. I'll go ahead and ask Kylie to take the roll.
Nicole Brown.
Yes.
David Henry.
Yes.
Judith Bankart.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Moving on to election day updates. And thank you, Ryan. As I say, in real time, he is keeping me up to date on the number of voters. So pieces of trivia for you. The number of persons eligible to vote in this municipal are 59,643. The total in-person absentee votes that have been cast, absentee ballots that have been cast since October 11th, which was the first day of early and in-person voting, is 1,702. That's 1702. And thanks to Ryan, how you doing, Ryan? Get better. As of 12:59, 121 people have voted since the polls opened at 8 o'clock today. Yesterday, we had 166 people to vote. We are averaging approximately 100 voters per day. Started off really, really slow. It has ramped up. The total number of absentee, military and overseas ballots is 309. We have had 301 absentee ballots returned by mail We have 184 absentee ballots by mail that have yet to be returned. We have 36 requests for travel board. Of those, 12 have been voted. 24 people who have requested travel board have yet to be voted. There is still time to vote early. We are open today until 6, and I can tell you that they are very ready to receive you. They are excited to see you. When a car pulls up, they get very, very excited, unless it's my car, when they say, oh, that's just Nicole. So please show up and vote. You have until 6 o'clock today. The polls open again tomorrow at 8 o'clock and go until 6. This coming Saturday is one of the 2 Saturdays. We were open last Saturday. We will be open this Saturday. That is 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then on Monday, it will not be the regular hours that it has been. It will be 8 a.m. to 12 noon. If you want to vote early, Monday before 12 noon is the last possible time that you can do that. And then if you are not able to vote early in person that day, you will go to your regular polling site on Tuesday. The only exception to that, the absentee deadlines have passed for mail and for overseas and military. Those email deadlines have passed, with the exception of travel board. We will take travel board until Monday at noon. Those requests, if you want to vote by travel board, Monday at noon. So there is still time. I believe I've given you every number I have, unless Ryan snuck in another number, and I'm just gonna check on that because he is doing that. Nope, still have 121 as of 12:59. Does any member of the board have a question or concern about the numbers that I've given you?
I do not.
No, I don't either, though I also want to echo the good work of Ryan and Kylie and the new folks who have gotten engaged in this election cycle, supporting your office and supporting our elections. I've had good feedback from members of the public. Go ahead. Yeah, you want to say it?
Hi, Ryan,
Oh, he's-
123.
Oh, he's updating as we go.
He's updating as we go.
Tell that guy to take his sick leave.
I tried.
But I was going to say, I've had some good feedback from members of the community that have early voted, and they had nothing but compliments in terms of how the throughput's working and how people are working through early voting. And so, that good anecdotal feedback matters. And so, it's a good exercise in having a full election in our municipal and referendum voting. I wanted to ask that 59,643, that includes those eligible in the MCCSC referendum only spaces
Yes,
outside
sir.
city limits.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
And again, that's an opportunity for folks to vote. If you are in the MCCSC and are outside the city of Bloomington, you have one thing to vote on, and you can get to early voting and also get to your polling location on election day. I don't think I have any other additional questions on this. It sounds all very good. Thank you, Clerk Brown. Any additional information at this time from the election Board of Elections or election operations?
I have nothing further. I would happily entertain a question from the public.
Yeah, I would say too, as a point of order, we are still working on the draft agendas, getting out in a timely manner. I think we will make an effort to make sure that we conduct good business and allow for public comment after sections, and that will be reflected in the next agenda that we do. But I agree, Clerk Brown, if there are any public questions about the clerk's update, we're happy to entertain those at the podium or on chat in the Zoom at this time.
Is there any chance that we can see the chat?
Yeah, thank you, TSD. Yeah, if we can see the chat, if there are questions about
Or
election day.
if the attendees are raising their hands? Last month, we apparently had someone
true.
that we overlooked
Yeah.
who was on the meeting, raised their hand, and we did not acknowledge them because we did not see it. I don't see anything.
Seeing none in the room or in the chat, we'll continue with the agenda. And again, TSD, if you do see someone in the attendees with their hand up, feel free to interrupt and let us know there, but I don't see it on our screen. Okay. Okay. The next agenda item is the Vote Center Study Committee update. I'm going to pause here for a point of order to make sure we're muted in the room. You're okay.
I think I'm mute now.
Well, your microphone's on your laptop, so I can hear you talking through it. Okay. But you have audio, your speaker's on. Yeah. That's okay. It's only for the 12 people that are watching. We're okay. There you go.
Well, we know one's watching.
Yeah, no one's watching.
Hi,
It's okay.
Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan's got it. Okay. Thank you for working through that technical difficulty, everybody. No worries. Vote Center Study Committee updates. First, do we have the last appointments or additional appointments that need to be made? Clerk Brown, I believe you have one more to make. Are you still on the hunt?
Is there an independent in this town?
Did you get the name of the person I sent you?
I did.
Did you talk to her?
I reached out.
And she didn't?
Nothing.
respond? I will get with her again because she truly is one.
Okay. So it sounds like we have someone we're trying to get to Clerk Brown for consideration.
Please.
Okay, good there. The Democratic Party will make its last appointment to the Vote Center Committee. And then the person I'm appointing is someone who's been an advocate for the 45,000 or so members of our community that are adults that attend Indiana University, that deserve a right to vote and engage in our community. Has also has been a passionate speaker on neurodivergence in our community, and as someone who speaks on those issues and is aware of those that in our community have spectrum disorder and other challenges and getting out to vote and understanding where they need to go, I'm happy to appoint Steve Volan of Bloomington to the third seat on the Vote Center Study Committee to help us work through the process of getting those going. So Steve is my appointment to fill out the Democratic slate to work on that issue. At this point, I guess since we have voted on all of them as we've moved forward, I want to make sure that we do that as well. So I motion to approve Steve Volan's appointment to the Vote Center Study Committee, if there's a second.
I will second.
All right, and Kylie, if we can take the roll.
Nicole Brown,
Yes.
David Henry,
Yes.
Judith Bankart.
Yes.
Okay. The second item on the Vote Center Study Committee is an update on, well, getting started with the Vote Center Study Committee. Kylie, can you give us an update on the process and getting the first meeting set up and what we're hearing from the members to get going?
The email was sent out for all of them to send in availability for the first week of December. We are currently waiting on a few more individuals to return their availability for that. As soon as that is done, we will have the first meeting set, and then we will be able to let you guys know when that will be.
So we're anticipating December for the first.
The first week of December,
Okay,
for
very
sure.
good.
And Ms. Kylie, am I correct? December 4th through December 8th? is
Correct,
the
yes.
Week that we're looking at.
There was a question that we got from that group, and Ms. Turner King, maybe you can just provide clarity that to have a Zoom option available to also comply with Open Door. Can you just update us on the status of what we need to do there and what their process is for establishing a hybrid meeting approach?
So at the first meeting, the committee members would consider the adoption of a hybrid or electronic attendance policy. That policy would pretty much, it would mimic the state code, which would allow members to attend virtually. However, there would still have to be an in-person quorum at every meeting. Members would be allowed to attend two meetings consecutively, but then would have to attend one in person before they could attend any other consecutively. And they would have to be able to attend at least 50% of the Vote Center Committee meetings in person. And so what would happen is I'd draft that policy, we'd get it to them for consideration at the first meeting, and then they would vote on it, and then thereafter members could appear electronically.
Good. I'm good there. Thank you both for the legwork to get this set up. I know it's a little unusual for the election board to have a committee doing other things under its auspice, but it's been a good education to get that set up. I will just say from my seat, it's taken us 12 years and good bipartisan communication with both parties to get back in the room to talk about this. So if we got to go a few more weeks until we get the meeting, I'm okay with that. But we'll get going on it, I think.
I can tell you, as I reached out to make sure that Ms. Kylie had information for the people I had recommended, that the people that I appointed are very excited to be a part of this. I think that's probably true for everybody. And they were thinking they had missed something because there hadn't been a meeting. And so I think sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Ms. Benkart, do you have additional comments on this part of the committee?
No.
Okay, good progress. So I look forward, I guess this time next month, we'll know we've got a meeting, and then we get that going and get some good information pulled together to get on that. So thank you for that. Again, as Clerk Brown pointed out, do we have public comment or question on the Vote Center committee process? I'll look to the participant chat. Okay, seeing none in the room and in the chat. Moving on to new business, I'm going to ask the board that we strike the item, my request to have an executive session regarding personnel for early voting. I don't think that's an issue that needs, that we thought, or I thought we needed to have a discussion about personnel, but I don't think we do. So I'm just going to go ahead and ask that we strike that item from the agenda or take a motion to do so.
I can make a motion to strike that.
I'll second, and I think we'll just do a procedural vote. All those in favor to remove the bullet for new business, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. New business is removed. Are there additional items for new business that did not make the agenda for this meeting that we would like to surface at this time?
Yes, sir, if you don't mind, I just got a text requesting that we please I'm shocked at what I'm about to read. Please remind poll workers that they need to direct their concerns to their recruiters and not to our office, and definitely to not send nasty emails or get rude phone calls. This is the first that I am realizing that many of our poll workers are returning workers for whom we are incredibly grateful. I don't know what has gone on. I think there might have been some confusion as far as noting when poll workers had gone through training. It is mandatory that you attend a training prior to working the polls, and in fact, that's part of the oath that you take, is that you have been through the required training. And so I know that we have added additional classes, poll worker classes. I know that the trainer is willing to meet individually with you if you cannot make the group class. So it is a shock to hear that there are people sending nasty grams. Those really aren't necessary. We need poll workers, but we need poll workers who actually want to serve and are willing to work with us as much as we are willing to work with them.
Thank you for that on-the-fly update as it was coming in.
It is coming in.
And what's going on there. Again, yeah, it is a detail-oriented and tough month for folks that engage in operating our vote center or our early voting. We're thankful for everybody that's putting in the hard hours, to do that. Esprit de corps matters, keeping people happy and good in their work matters. So,
And I have gone
do what
over,
we do. Yeah.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I've gone over to the poll worker classes whenever I have an opportunity to say thank you. That's been something that is meaningful to me, to stop what I am doing and go and let them know how grateful I am. If I missed you, I apologize. I've had other meetings too. But we are incredibly grateful. What was the follow-up is, this is regarding polling sites and lack of workers at the poll site, when and how they want the equipment set up. And sadly, what I'm reading is that it's mainly the inspectors. So there are fewer polling sites than there would be in say the presidential. So if you didn't get your preferred polling site, I hope you'll come back and work for us next year and just work through this with us this year. And then honestly, the setup and how it goes is entirely up to B&L Communications, which is our IT workers, and we honestly work with them. They know what they're doing. They will set it up for you. they know what they are doing, and they will make sure that you are ready to go at 6 o'clock on election day. I'm hopeful that that clears up any concerns, and we can put that topic to bed, other than Ryan said there's 125 voters now. Thanks, Ryan.
I have no additional issues to discuss.
I just thank you for that update. Thank you. I do have one thing I want to raise for new business to think about for next month as we get through the election. I've had some good conversations with Ryan on just how it's going for his first time through the process. And for folks that have gotten to know Ryan over the past few months, and Kylie in the room here, they're very good process-oriented people. They're checklist people. And I talked with Ryan a little bit about perhaps thinking through a after-action report on the election, or something that he can kind of show back and say, here's how the whole thing went. Here's where everything's great that we keep. Here's some stuff we can improve on for 2024. And I wanted to kind of gauge the board's idea about, could we get a little report out at the tail end of just the sum total of all the good data, the cost model, how much all this cost in terms of the MCCSC. What are your thoughts on that, to get that sort of just in the weeds data after we're done? What do you think?
Thank you. First of all, I don't know if you know, but we have for some time now, at least as long as I have been working in the clerk's office under the previous administration and my own, we send out a survey to all of the poll workers for that feedback. How did it go? What could we do differently? And we get a lot of good feedback from that. It's also a good time to find out what didn't go so well. And I have made personal calls to people who say that they did not have a good experience, and what could have gone differently. Largely, I would say 90 to 95%, we get positive feedback. It went well. They're excited to come and work. They want to go back to their same polling site, and it's great. The cost, I think I've mentioned before, there's a formula that is given to us. I didn't make it up, and I can't give you any cost, any numbers until we get all of the bills in after the election, and we start plugging those numbers in. I know that people are anxious to find out how much this referendum cost. There's only so much you can bill in an area where it's the referendum only question. We're all going to learn through this together. And so again, for anybody who is frustrated about that, please pack your patience. We will get that information out to you as soon as we have it. It's not something that we benefit from hoarding. We will let you know when we know.
Judith?
So that's going to be a report that is going to be provided then? Great.
Yeah, and that's all it is.
I look forward to it.
It's not meant to be a gotcha question. It's just a good process to say, what do we do here? And we kind of surface the good news and some of the opportunities for improvement or engagement there. So I think it's something to think ahead to. And Ryan strikes me as the kind of person that would do it anyway if we didn't ask. So I'm looking forward to that.
He's very good.
Yeah. Additional new business items or questions of concern?
No.
Okay. All right, I think we're at the tail end here. I'll just open it up for general public comment at this point. If there are any comments or questions about issues that were not before the board today that the public would like to surface, we'll entertain those at this time.
Can we look at the attendees?
Yeah, I think
In
one
the chat
the one might be hidden there in the webinar chat. Because it's hiding some of the list there. But TS,
Yeah.
do you see any in there or not? I see no hands up in the room. Okay, having covered that, I will go ahead at this time and entertain a motion to recess to 5 p.m. Monday, November 6th, at election operations on North Morton.
No.
I'm sorry, at Election Central at North Morton, so we can review the last polling site setups at 5 p.m. on Monday the 6th. We'll recess to, or is there a motion for that?
I will make a motion to recess until 5 p.m. on Monday, November 6th.
Second.
All right, motion second being made. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, we are in recess until Monday at 5. It is election eve next time we're in the room. Thank you, everybody.